I'm not entirely sure where his sister is. There you go. Look what Tax spotted for us. Ha ha. Looks like, I think that's Karula's little male, Hosana. And I think that Xongile, Tax tells me that Xongile is very close to this area as well. No idea where Karula is. She might already, despite the hard work that she's put in over the last few days, she might already be on a mission for the next meal. 2 growing cubs, lots and lots of empty stomachs to fill. Okay, let's try and reposition. We might have to wait this one out patiently for a little bit, and just manage with a slightly poor view for a while before they decide to come out and, never mind. Eat my words there, because the lovely lady, the princess, has decided to come out as well. Another thing that we are so privileged to be able to witness, to spend time with these leopard cubs and to have watched them grow up. Oh no, you're going to the other side now. Oh, you little horror. And there's the little girl at the back. She's just climbed over her brother and onto the other side of the termite mound, which just goes to show lesson number 2 this afternoon, about showing a little bit of patience and waiting where you are. We would have had a beautiful view of her from where we were, but we do have this lovely view of Hosana. At 8.5 months of age, the 2 of them starting to become more and more independent and very, very brave. Oh, big yawn from the little male. Usually. That being said, the 2 of them are so full. Mom has done such an amazing job of providing for them over the last few days. Well, actually their entire lives, but especially over the last few days. For any of our new viewers who've missed out, perhaps you've just jumped on board recently and you missed the last 2 days spent with Karula and her 2 cubs. Karula killed a duiker live on the sunset safari with Brent, which resulted in a bent steering bar to one of the vehicles, at which point Chandra and myself rushed in, just in time to see her put it up in a jackalberry tree. Then, the next morning, lo and behold, the duiker was still there, but Karula was not. And during the night, while she had fetched her 2 cubs, she'd actually managed to catch an adult male impala on her way back. So she had 2 meals. And they ate the male impala first, which is a massive meal even for 3 leopard cubs. So all 3 of them were positively bulging at the seams. And then this morning they made their way back towards the duiker and they finished that off as well. But a duiker is a very, very small meal, particularly if Hosana is involved, who is living up to his reputation as a little male and eating as much as he possibly can all of the time, which I completely sympathize with. I'm much the same. So does Connor. But he's doing a lot of crowing. He's already a third bigger than his sister, I would guess. His feet are nearly the size of his mother's. You can hardly blame him. Right, are the 2 of you going to make life difficult? So here's how it's going to work this afternoon, I imagine. Karula's cubs have decided they're going to have a little fun with this woman that's been sitting with them over the last 2 days. And they're going to keep moving to the opposite side of the termite mound every time she repositions. Yep. That'll do it. As I said, becoming more and more independent, which means Karula often has to work harder than she should have to try and find them again once she's left them. Last night, at the end of the sunset safari, she was desperately trying to call to the 2 of them, and they were being so naughty. I know that they were in earshot. Well, I'm certain they were within earshot. And just showing a little bit of rebellion in that whatever they were doing was more exciting, and they didn't come straight to Mom straight away. Little girl did. Xongile did eventually. But it took Karula a long time to be able to call them out. So for now, she's done what any good female leopard does. She's left them in a safe place whilst she goes off and hunts for something. They've got nice, dense vegetation around this termite mound to hide them. And should anything really serious come along, they have a false marula tree growing on the termite mound in front of them. And that will provide the safest possible place for them in the event of, let's say, lions coming through, or perhaps even hyenas or wild dogs. And she knows now life's become a lot less worrying for Karula and for all of us, in that the cubs at 8 months old are really a lot more alert, a lot more aware. Not that they weren't instinctively when they were younger, but now they've got the coordination and the speed to be safe from all but the most dire of threats, provided they keep their attention focused and don't become too lax. They're going to be absolutely fine. And Karula's got to go and do and put in the hard work now and head off once again to go and find them a meal. Can you believe it? Already she's had to head off. While they sit here, they will entertain themselves by either playing with each other, perhaps dozing, and maybe even practicing their hunting skills for when the time comes that they are fierce predators just like their mum. Marsha, you want to know if I think either cub has killed something yet, even a small animal? Yes, I do. We suspect, we don't fully know, but we suspect that Hosana actually killed a scrub hare not too long ago. Chandra, were you there? Do you remember when it was? I know, our sense of time, I have to be honest, for all of us, when he was 4 months old, or 4 months ago. You're right, it is the same-ish. That is how maths works. Sorry, Chandra. That is how maths works, if they're 8 months old. 4 months ago would make them 4 months old, yep. Just pretend I didn't say that. Do some stupid things sometimes. So, Marsha, yes, we suspect Hosana killed the scrub hare that time, but we don't really know. It could have been Karula, and he might just have been playing with it and being possessive over it. We saw Xongile with his dwarf mongoose killed. It was the first kill that we saw him with a year and a bit ago, and he must have been close to about 10 months. And I don't think it was his first kill. I think he had probably made more previously. So yes, I think they have killed small things, even if it's just a small lizard. But chances are they have managed to kill something. It's amazing, the instinct. It really is phenomenal, and it just goes to show how innate it truly is, how built in it truly is. Female leopards don't have to teach their offspring to hunt. They're just there. It's built into their genetic code. The knowledge of how to go about it. And that's why I'm actually quite looking forward to an afternoon spent with these two, because the more you sit patiently, the more amazing things that you see. And anything from a francolin to a mongoose could come stumbling through, and we can watch them practice their hunting technique, which is definitely not particularly refined. You see? Look at him. He spotted something. I don't know what he's seen. I just want to see for 1 second. Yeah, here he goes. Before we reposition, that's what I was thinking. I thought he was looking in that direction. So before we go all the way around, going to investigate. See, look at this. How perfectly timed was this? He's stalking something. I don't want to turn on the vehicle and interrupt him until I've got a better idea of what he's after. There's lots and lots of dwarf mongoose in this particular area, so it could be one of them. It could be a lizard that attracted his attention. That's where his sister was earlier, so there's something there. I can just see the tip of a tail. You see, investigating. How perfectly timed was this? What you after, little boy? It's smooth movement. You've seen his mother do so many times before. inching forward. Almost liquid in the way that they move like this. I can't reposition. I'm going to have to stay where we are. I think whatever it is, he's already been unsuccessful. If it's under that log, he's far too close. Let's just sit and wait for a second. Let's see if he gets there. Hasn't fully mastered the flat-bellied leopard crawl just yet. But he is doing quite well with slinking 101. What you investigating? Because if you're trying to catch a lizard or a reptile, your technique leaves much to be desired. Oh, now is he digging? Did he sneeze? Oh, is that what that was? At the moment I can see a shoulder blade and a bottom. Oh. Bye. I think he just lay down. That flopping motion. Okay. Or maybe just in search of, or pretending that he was just in search of a nice, comfortable sleeping spot. And we'll pretend that we believe him. Let's go around to the other side. Just in time for Xongile to come this side. Let's see how we go. At least the light will be really nice that side. So thank you to everybody sending through your screenshots. I hope you all know that I will be going straight back this evening to steal your screenshots of the baby elephant. I obviously don't have a camera with me, and I wouldn't have used it anyway, to be honest. I was far too caught up in the situation. But I'm going to be stealing lots of screenshots today. It will almost be quite fun to do a time-lapse of the growth of the cubs from all of your screenshots. If we could somehow manage to create some kind of uniformity in terms of which ones we chose, perhaps the cubs next to Karula, and use her as a benchmark, and then do a time-lapse. Do a time-lapse combination of little cubs as they've grown bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. You know, like those people who take a photograph of their children every day for 26 years or whatever it happens to be. That might be a slight exaggeration, but you know what I mean. We should actually think about doing the same things with the cubs. In fact, I wish I'd thought of that earlier. Just a thought for those of you with massive collections of screenshots and not quite sure what to do about them or with them. I think this is actually as good as it's going to get. Unfortunately, I don't really... Let's just settle with this for now, and I'll answer Wendy's question, and then I'll just get an idea of where he is and how to go about repositioning again. Wendy, you want to know, do we have any idea how many cubs Karula has lost over the years? We know of one set, definitely, obviously, because that was the tragedy that happened live. In my own mind, I don't think that it's possible for us to be certain that she did or didn't lose any others. It's quite easy to miss pregnancy in leopards, particularly when they've got full bellies. It might not have been noticed. She might have been unsuccessful in the past. I'm not saying she was. I'm saying it's impossible for us to have known, or for anyone to have known. Obviously, I wasn't here, so I wasn't observing her personally. I've only arrived in the last year and a half. But my guess would be probably just in terms of statistics and mathematics, but who knows? I mean, Karula's beaten the odds so many times with 5 different successful litters that it's impossible for us to say. So no, we know she's lost one set. We cannot confirm whether or not she's lost any others. And I don't think anybody can, because we spend such a small percentage of these animals' lives with them. And not that we're complaining, because we're very grateful. I think we can actually reposition here. Okay, I think that's going to be as good as it gets. We've got little monster in the fallen tree and little monster number 2 on the termite mound. Let me just see what kind of a view Jean has got from his perspective. Almost, slightly to the left and down. It's alright. I'm not going to complain. Ephraim, if you come along the southern side of that drainage, you'll see me from the road. Hello, little one. So one little cub there, and the other passed out on the termite mound. And I don't see any sign of Karula. While I've been watching the 2 of them, I've been double checking to see whether or not she's in the area. Don't think so, though. I think she's gone off searching for food to feed insatiable appetites. I can't believe I forgot to comment on that. Speaking of our leopards in general, James Richard, you would like to know, because this morning, of course, turned out to be quite tricky in that there was a massive queue to go and see the Anderson male, but finally got there at the end of the drive. But I was obviously with a school class, so I couldn't really discuss it with our regular viewers because we were chatting and taking questions from the school kids, which of course is so important, so we're not complaining about that at all. Hold on a second. I'm just going to see if I need to... Sorry, James. Let me just see if I need to make space for Ephraim. I think I might need to. No, if... One is under here. One is under this combretum here. And then the other here on the termite mound. So I think... Okay, you okay to go around that side? Hi, everybody. Alright, sorry James Richard, I just needed to discuss with Ephraim about which way he should go in order to be able to see these cubs properly. Hello, gorgeous, with your brown eyes. So James Richard would basically like to say, now that I've seen Anderson, would I think that he is as big as everybody, do I think he's as big as everybody makes him out to be? Yes, he is. He's absolutely massive. He's an absolutely monstrous size leopard. That being said, there's not a huge, personally, I mean, I almost got shouted at when I mentioned this earlier. I don't think there's that big a difference between him and Tingana. I mean, maybe 10 kilograms, if that. He is truly a beast of a leopard, and the true power lies in his biceps and his forearms. Tingana, in his strength, is a very, very big boy. He comes close. One thing I will say about Anderson is that he is very different looking to all of our other leopards. Xongile, with her beautiful innocent face, is almost a different species. Obviously they're the same. But for those of you who have no idea what I'm talking about, the Anderson male is rumoured to be one of the biggest leopards in the northern Sabi Sand. If not, there's some argument about this, but there are some people better qualified than I who have seen some of the large male leopards of the Sabi Sand. He is rumoured to be one of the largest leopards the Sabi Sand had ever seen. He's massive. I mean, he's at least 90 kilograms. He's probably more. And I have to say, I wouldn't want to have to come up against him in a fight, having seen how easily he hoisted that warthog up into the tree. His face is very, very different to any of our leopards. Brent described him last night as a gangster or a mob boss when he got home. And that is sort of what he's square-jawed. He's got small eyes for a leopard. And they are... I don't know how to describe it. They're very different. Tiny pupils, very tiny pupils. He's completely unique. I'm very grateful that I got to see him. He's a very special leopard. Hold on, where's this little one off to? So absolutely, he has earned his reputation, but I haven't quite fully got a grasp of his character yet. I can only tell you what he looks like, and he looks very, very different. He's also odd. He's not fully comfortable with cars, which isn't odd in itself, of course, that he's fully within his right to be that way. Whoopsie, thorn in foot. And slinking underneath the next tree, searching for entertainment. I don't know, I find him fascinating. I'm intrigued, that's the word. I find Anderson intriguing. Look at the little female. She's going to go for her brother, who is flat on her back. See? Told you, as soon as we get round to this side, they're going to go to the other side. Is she going to rush her brother or not? He's just disappeared. I can't see where he's gone.
He's in that thicket.
Oh, there he goes. Oh, just disappearing behind the termite mound. Something else has attracted his attention. Completely unaware that he is being watched by the fiercest predator out here, his sister. Who I think is not going to pounce. I think she's just going to watch. Okay, we will need to move out of the sighting to make room for other vehicles. So while I hop on the Game Drive channel, let's head across to Brent to find out how his search for the Nkuhumas is going.
So I went for a walk in the little dry riverbed, and there's tracks for a lion and a lioness that head towards the old hyena den off from Vubu Road. And I can't see any tracks coming out, which leads me to believe they're somewhere between here and the Galago, or where I last saw the tracks near the Galago Pan. It's not a big area, so I was hoping to almost hear something. Oh, there, on top of this little, you see him? There's zoom. On top of that little Ziziphus, up a little bit. There we go, you see that little bit of movement in the middle? Ah, now there's a tricky one. Oh! Now look at that little yellow tuft. And that chest. Now who can tell me which Sunbird that is? If you know, hashtag Safari Live or questions at WildEarthTV. I'm so happy we got another Sunbird. Now, while I was walking for the lions, I saw a bird that I'm very excited to hopefully show everyone, because I know it's going to be a new species for almost all of our birders. And I'd be impressed if anyone has seen this bird before on the live drives, and let me just show you which one it is now. So I saw him while I was walking, and I heard him calling. Let's put the call on for you. Oh no, let's do that. Let's show you what he looks like first. There we go, the thick-billed cuckoo. Now, if anyone's seen that, let me know. If you've seen that on live drive, I'll be very impressed. Thick-billed cuckoo. I heard one calling. And spotted one while I was tracking those lines. Unfortunately, he was a bit far from the car to go try find. And I just need to do... There we go. And this call sounds like that. So you might have heard it on the Djuma dam cam. Very exciting. Now hopefully the thick-billed cuckoo lures the lions out of the riverbed, but I doubt. I think a buffalo would be a better bet. Let's make him stop making a noise. Okay. So now it's decision time for us. So I'm pretty sure that the lions are here. Let's see if we can find a little spot to look down into the drainage. So there's the old hyena den. We can see it. Not in use at the moment, or except by porcupines by the looks of things. We just managed to squeeze through here. What do you think, Brian? I think we can. Just move the dead branch. Pretty sure those lions are just here. Okay, so there's this big elephant path. So let's have a look. Any lion tracks on here. Or if we can spot them, they could be. I mean, I left the tracks not far from here. Now, you've got to be very careful when tracking lions in this weather. Now, the wind is blowing quite heavily, so you can't hear as well as you normally can, and neither can the lions. And so sometimes you can give each other. You see it, Brian? Oh, turn around. Oh, he's got a big caterpillar. That looked like an African cuckoo, not the thick-billed, but the thick-billed wasn't far from here. Let's see if we can get another view of him as we search for the lions. Now, the lion tracks I left probably, I guess, you can actually see Gallagher's light through there, and I was probably about halfway between us and them. So as I was saying, you've got to be very careful tracking lions in this weather. It's easy to surprise them at close range. So I armed myself for my tracking, which I don't normally do. And when I say I armed myself with a piece of elephant dung and a stick. Both of those, alarm calls, were there to throw at the lions in case we did surprise each other. So, come on, lions, just be lying nicely below us here. Come on. You see any lion bellies, Brian? You know, I think if I remember, go away bird was alarm calling. Okay, let's just stop for a second. And just listening for a second. Beautiful, Brian. Lovely camera work while I try hear a lion in the bustling wind. So what I'm looking for, because it's a mating pair, I'm trying to listen to that. Okay, we're going to make our way out and head a little bit further to the west to see if we can find those lions. While we do that, Jamie's found some more elephants.
Getting very lucky with elephants this afternoon. I didn't have to go far. I went to investigate what young Xongile was looking at, and the answer was very much right under our noses. We've left the leopards for now. There are people that want to go and see them, and so to avoid crowding them without their mum, we've moved off, and we are now sitting with a lovely elephant herd. This baby elephant definitely looks very large in comparison to the one that we saw earlier, but still thoroughly enjoyable to just sit and spend time with them. This is a separate herd. It's not the same herd. Completely different, completely separate part of the reserve, which is great because it actually means that we can sit quite peacefully and watch them without worrying about upsetting them in any way. It looks as though one of the females thinking about having a dust bath as well. Or she might just be digging for something scrumptious underneath the surface of the soil. Yep, it was the latter. Seeking out roots. See, it's incredibly powerful. I don't know if how many of you, presumably some of you actually do enjoy gardening. Those of you who have tried to pull roots out of the soil, even shallow roots, even thin shallow roots, you know how incredibly tough it is. These elephants seem to do it almost as an afterthought without any effort involved. It just goes to the phenomenal strength of these creatures. And she just yanked that up from underneath the surface of the soil once she dug it up. Of course, we've seen them struggle every now and again. It doesn't always go according to plan, but that multi-purpose trunk is very, very useful for those sorts of tasks. Stripping away the bark of the root, actually. She's not even chewing the root properly. She's just stripping away the outer layer. You can see the wind has stayed with us all day. This morning we spoke about it a lot, and the fact that it does tend to unsettle animals. Elephants especially. Lucky we've had 2 very peaceful elephant sightings now today. What would we guess? This one probably about 2 years old. The little one has gained the confidence to start moving away, a little bit away from mum. Probably this little elephant is still suckling, so still reliant on mom's milk as well. But he or she is probably almost completely fully weaned. Hard to believe that that much growth is going to be done in just over a year. From the little calf we saw earlier to this one. I wish we could time-lapse it now. Speaking about time-lapses of the cubs that we were looking at earlier. Munching away on the grass. Now, I spoke about this morning, but for those of you that weren't around for the sunrise safari, one of the reasons why we're seeing so many elephants at the moment is, I know Steph is also talking about it, the fact that Hoedspruit is completely dry. Elephant Plains, western edge of Arathusa, all of those areas have actually had no rain, or hardly any rain. You know, of course, we rejoiced when we got those 35 mils a couple of weeks ago on Dave's birthday on the 18th of September. Who would have guessed it? That's now nearly a month ago. We rejoiced when we got 35 mils, and we've been looking at the green flush that has spread throughout the bush. Lots of the Sabi Sand have not got that rain at all. Buffelshoek, Torchwood, Cheetah Plains, all looking fantastic. The western edge of Arathusa, Elephant Plains, apparently have had nothing. The southern Sabi Sand have had nothing, which means that that's one of the big reasons why we've been seeing buffalo. We spoke about the fact that animals are recovering now that there's food around. There's actually not that much. And that's why the elephants are quite stressed out, because they're spending a lot of time here in this area. So there have been some herds that have been less than content with us. Fortunately, we haven't had any bad luck this afternoon with elephant herds showing that they are disgruntled. But there have been a few. And these elephants are under massive pressure. It's why we're seeing so many of them in this area. It's why we're seeing so many buffalo as well. It's actually one of the few places, the oasis that has been provided by this little patch of rain. And it's amazing what a difference a couple of kilometers can make. Female's unhappy with the other female. Anyway, I just thought I'd fill you in on what's actually happening around the area. Emily and DJ, speaking about elephants, of course, going from the youngest, one of the youngest members of this herd, you want to know about the oldest members, and you wanted to know if old or sick elephants are ever pushed out of the herd. Generally not actively pushed out. Especially for old elephants, because of course in their old age elephants' teeth wear down, they don't have a replacement set, and so they really struggle to chew. They will often move off on their own to the softer food places, so around rivers, or if the herd moves through that area they might just stick around there for a little bit longer. Sick and old elephants, the herd will wait for them up to a point, but it will get to the point where there is a very good chance that elephant is going to get left behind. The matriarch has to look after the good of the herd as a whole, especially in a drought situation or something similar. She's going to keep pushing them to keep moving, and a sick or an injured elephant that can't keep up, or an older elephant that can't keep up, will eventually just become separated from the rest of the group. But for the most part, the herd is a very, very protective unit, and they'll try and stay with that animal for as long as possible. But there's only so much they can do, and they have to put the good of all of the individuals of the herd ahead of just one individual. Now, Ellies have moved off into some very dense vegetation, so I think I might start to move on. I'm just going to glimpse them disappearing off a little bit further, and that, I think, is going to be that. I think there's a very good chance they could end up chasing our leopard cubs away. They're heading in that exact direction. Wait, hold on. Where is this eagle calling? I can hear it. I think I can see it. So hold on, sorry. Oh, it's the marshal. I thought it was the marshal. That's why I got so excited when I heard that call. It's the same marshal I think it's the same marshal. Oh no, hold on. It's not the marshal. Too small. Just hidden behind the... Whoops, better look where I'm driving. Juvenile... Oh no, Wahlbergs. Wahlbergs. Pale morph Wahlbergs. Okay, I got overexcited. But we got there eventually. Because this is where the martial eagle lives. I was hoping it might have returned and decided to nest here, but it's not. It's the Wahlbergs eagle. Sorry. Got very excited. Beautiful pale morph with a square tail. Quite a small eagle. In my defense, the reason I thought it was a marshal was because all I could see was one leg. There we go. Square tail, tiny size, pale morph, Wahlbergs eagle. Well done, Genre. Awesome. Our cameramen are quite amazing. Yeah. Genre gives a non-committal. He's not happy with that. Right, where do we go from here? Should we go see if Tingana pops out? This morning, I raced across to Sydney's dam because I thought Mvula was drinking there. And we've been trying for 3 days to get to him. So I raced up there only to discover it was Tingana. Not that that's a problem at all. But I don't know, it just turned into a messy morning. Then he nearly caught an impala 200 meters north of the boundary. And so we didn't see him. So I think we're going to go and investigate what has happened there. Go and look for some tracks popping over for the last hour or so of our sunset safari. That sounds like a good plan. Our Missy Ray has raised a good question about an animal's instinct and how much they learn. Because obviously they have learnt to be comfortable with us in vehicles. You want to know if perhaps over time they will learn to associate the safari vehicles with danger. My initial answer, and the most basic answer, is no, they won't. Just because we stop and we view them as well. We stop and we view buffalo, we stop and we view giraffe. There's no necessary. Yes, certainly we stop more frequently at predators probably, or spend longer periods of time with them, but they won't be able to puzzle that out. So no, they won't necessarily associate us with danger. That being said, the reason I've said this in a more thoughtful tone is because there's some anecdotal evidence. There's also a baby elephant in that herd that's very tiny. That must have been the tail end, because I'm seeing tiny, tiny tracks. And there's anecdotal evidence to suggest that spotted hyena have learned to follow spotlights towards, to see what's going on, to investigate. Because of course we often sit with spotlights on lion kills, for example. So that's one of the reasons, and I'm saying it's anecdotal evidence. It's not fully proven, and it's not fully proven in all areas. But I wouldn't put it past a spotted hyena to puzzle that out. They're very clever animals. So that's the reason why we don't spotlight leopards on a kill on the ground, unless it's in a tree. And the same reason why we don't spotlight the cubs, one of the reasons why we don't spotlight cubs in the initial stages of their infancy. Just to avoid the possibility, just the slimmest chance, that that might be the case. I mean, lions give themselves away. A curious nature, but then I don't think that's a situation of them learning to associate our vehicles with something like that. It's just that they've heard the lions. Lots and lots and lots of Ellie tracks around. Okay, let's go see what else we can find. I can find this bird that's calling. The magpie shrikes are gathering for the evening. Oh my goodness, the magpie shrikes are making baby magpie shrikes. Again, we had crested barbets doing that yesterday. And I actually saw the lapwings on Arathusa doing the same thing this morning. So spring is most definitely in the air. I'm just gonna stop here. Actually, should we go back and do it from that angle? Yes. Okay, much more romantic, says Gendre. If perhaps we leave them in silhouette. Ah, oh dear. My mistake. They've gone off in search of privacy. Although there's 3 of them. Oh well. Sorry everybody. I should have stopped there. I wasn't thinking properly. Aha. I had a feeling this would be the case. Brent, once he sinks his teeth into a challenge, refuses to give up until he's achieved his goal. Let's go and see whether or not he's managed.
Hello, Nkuhuma. Aren't you looking lovely? Now, it's not only one Nkuhuma, it's all Nkuhuma, all cubs, and a Birmingham. And they have managed to make a kill. I can't see what it is at the moment. It's right down in a thicket, but there we go. Oh, look, there's a cub coming next to the big male. Oh, playing. It looks like it's another buffalo. I can't really see properly, but we'll have a look just now. Oh, the cubs are starting to get active. Well, it looks like we found the Nkuhumas at the right time of the day. I wonder they were not interested in those other buffaloes because they already... Oh, look at that! There we go. Happy lions. Oh, swat. Where's my... Now, the kill's in quite a precarious spot. I'm going to try and see if we can get a view of it shortly. So I just need to call this in on the radio. Oh, what do you got? Have they got more than one kill here? Did that look like a little foot of something? That is a small antelope. Foot. Leg. And then there's a big kill at the back. So it looks like they might have caught more than one thing here. Hashtag incredible Nkuhumas. Stations that it's the whole Nkuhuma pride, and they've got, it looks like a Nyari Bumba here, but it's not in a good place. Best access is from Gallagher Pan along that 2-track that heads to the west. There we go. Hello, little one. Now, as you can see, a lot of the Nkuhuma cubs are still looking very healthy. I'm just going to try and move a bit, see if we can see what exactly that kill is. I think it could be a buffalo, but it looks like they might have caught something else as... Oh, sorry, I've got binoculars caught in my... Something else as well. Now, I mean, they must have been watching me because I was tracking them just in here. And their tracks everywhere. Anyway, well, at least I spotted them before I became their next meal. Only joking, of course. Is that a wildebeest or a buffalo? I can't even see the horns. Is that a wildebeest? Now then, that makes a bit more sense. If that's a wildebeest, that could be a pregnant female, and that little leg that was being chewed on was a fetus. So if you come along that 2-track from Gallagher Mighty and you look north, and at the junction of those two skovers, they're just on the northern side there, but it looks like one of the Wasatis and the Wanuna might move back down towards Gallagher Pan. Oh. Are we going to get there's some lion flirting going on? There we go. Wow, high five. That's impressive stamina for a lion, mister. Normally it's over in a matter of about 5 or 6 seconds. Well done. And it's just a scent mark, you know. Making sure everyone knows how dominant I am, how glorious I am with my big mane. Okay. Well, he's just a bit too close for me to move it at the moment, so I'm not going to. Because the other lionesses are there behind us, Brian, and they've gone to sleep. Oh, if he goes to the carcass, we could see some. Okay, he's moved off a bit. Now, Kat in Tampa is wondering, is it unusual for male lions to be so tolerant? There we go, look at that. Do you see that? Oh, that's unfortunate. That's the kill's just in the worst place. He just chased the lioness off, and in doing that, he also chased the cubs. I'm going to try and find a spot where we can see a bit better. But I mean, it's right on the slope of this very steep little dry river system. I think we might get a view in here. It is a wildebeest, and a female wildebeest, so, and it's pretty much finished, to be honest. And how's that line? Wait, I need to rearrange for the VR, not to take a blow from the branch. Oh no, that's not going to work. Well, he just went to chase them for chasing's sake, and he's left them alone now. There we go. Look at that. He doesn't know what to do. Meat or mating? Meat or mating? Now, those two things are massive priorities in a male lion's life. And we're in quite a precarious spot here. So she wants to feed, he wants to mate and feed. So that lioness he was mating with has moved off a little bit. Sorry about the squeaky brakes. I think that's the best spot we're going to get for the kill. And I think for now, let's just hang here. Literally hang on the precipice of this very steep drainage line and see what happens. He's standing behind us, looking down towards the carcass. And there's a female wildebeest, and it's pretty much finished. Probably caught it during the day today. Okay, she's coming back. He's growling already from a distance. You can see there he is. Oh, he's turned around. Will she take this chance? Now, he's got his priorities torn at the moment. Oh, one of the cubs has come back to the carcass as well. She's sneaking in. Okay, here he comes. Is he going to charge? Silly boy. There's almost no meat left. He's obviously hungry, but he's so concerned about leaving the lioness that's in estrus that he doesn't know what to do. Even an adult female lioness, wildebeest, plus the fetus, is not really enough meat for a pride of this size. So you can see it's almost all done. I think that was probably killed during the day today at some point, and you can see what's left. It's not quite like a buffalo. So there is a chance they might hunt again tonight. He's really torn. How incredible those sounds. There's a cub trying to sneak in, so he didn't charge, he took a little low growl. Far more tolerant, and as Kat was wondering, male lions are quite tolerant of the cubs. It's not unusual. They will get upset and angry with them, but they'll never really react to them like we just saw there, and that was directly at an adult lioness. You can see that's the guy who had the big split in his lip. You can't decide, am I going to eat? Now, why don't you just take the carcass and go lie with it near where she is? That would be the more sensible thing if you were worried about one of your coalition members sneaking in. Some cubs coming in. He's not growling at them, even though if an adult lioness came that close to the carcass, he would probably chase her. Oh, there's a little growl at the cubs. So he is quite hungry. I mean, a male needs to eat quite a bit more than a female. And you can see that carcass is almost all gone. Remember, this is 100% live. You are witnessing this incredible lion interaction at the exact same time as us. And remember, if you want to ask any questions about it, hashtag Safari Live or questions at WildEarthTV. And while we sit here patiently, see what plays out with the Birminghams and Nkuhumas, let's go see what Jamie's plans are.
Well, you won't believe what has just transpired. I was on my way to go searching for Tingana, and I hear on the radio that Karula has killed an impala. She is truly unstoppable, quite incredible. Now, we're going very slowly on the way there because there's a little bit of an internal dispute amongst an elephant herd just off the road, so I'm going nice and slowly to see what's happening here. The huge female came striding in to sort out whatever nonsense is happening. I don't think I'm going to linger with them. Pardon? Tiny calf. I think we need to keep moving. Instinct says we just keep going. Alright, alright, alright. It's a newborn calf as well. In fact, this might even be our elephant. No, it's not our elephant herd. No, we need to just shuffle ever so slightly. We'll turn around. I don't believe it. There's another newborn calf. It's a few days old, this one. It's not newborn. But I just want to put us in a position that we're not going to risk ourselves and the elephants. So, no, they're very unsettled. Okay, guys. That's the young elephant. It's a young elephant shouting at us. Let's just move over. Bear with me 1 sec. We'll go and have a look, but we'll do it very carefully. Hello, everybody. How are you? Awesome. Oh, wonderful. No, we're on our way there now, so we're going to go and have a look. Oh, no, we must... Oh, wonderful. Oh, thank you so much. There's a tiny baby Ellie. For the bit upset, so just careful, but there's newborn calf there. Okay. Oh, shame. Yeah, copied that. Thanks very much. Enjoy. Shame, one lady there, so she's terrified of elephants, so fair enough. And they can be quite scary. With all of the vehicle traffic passing, I just want to think this through a little bit. I think we should leave these elephants. Yeah. I think we should leave these elephants. It's windy, and with a newborn calf, again, with an internal dispute, I don't think it's sensible. No, it's not. They're very cross. Let's head back across to Brent while we get to Karula and see what he's up to with the lions.
Well, since the dad won't let them eat, the cubs are playing. Well, they were. This one's just making him or herself comfortable. Now, if we zoom in there, you can actually start seeing a few of those early signs of mange on some of the cubs. Now, they've contracted a bit older than the Sticks cubs, which is already a positive. Oh, there we go. We're going to go stalk. There we go. Boom! Look at that. Isn't that just too sweet? They are just too wonderful, these little cubs. Oh, got him by the lip. Oh, there we go. You see, that got a bit more serious. Ears flat. Oh, sorry. Oh, there we go. I'll just take a stick with me. Boom! Sacked, as I think you say in American football. Is that sacked? I think. Rugby would just say tackled. Oh, he's got a little, looks like a tambuti leaf on his shoulder there, a little bit of red. Apparently he's getting some incredible screenshots. Keep screenshotting away. Remember, share them with us. Hashtag Safari Live on Twitter, or pop them on our Facebook page. You just hear that deep growl from the bush next to us. One of the cubs are playing right on the edge of the thicket that the expired wildebeest is in. There's the male. Standing by. Northwest. If you come from that little two-track that heads west from just to the north of Gallagher-Mighty. Oh, cub argument. A little bit to the east of where Karula was. So, I nearly forgot about our bird quiz a bit earlier. Now, can you believe it looked like a white-bellied sunbird. And Cam and Virginia and I myself also thought it was a white-bellied sunbird initially. But looking at it again, it probably is a white-bellied sunbird, but it's a very strange morph because white-bellied sunbirds don't usually have that yellow tuft. So I actually am going to send it off to a friend of mine and see if there have been records of a white-bellied sunbird with a yellow tuft. Normally it's the double collars that have that yellow tuft, but there was no red on his chest. And guys, please, if you got any screenshots of that sunbird, I'd love, because I didn't get a picture of it, I'd love for you to pop it onto Safari Live or onto my Facebook page, and so I can have a look at it properly and see if it's necessary that we go send it off. It could just be a variance, and sunbirds do have lots of variances in their colors. So it's probably 85-90% a white-bellied sunbird, but that little yellow tuft has excited me slightly that it might be something a little different. Okay, well, we can't really see all the cubs. Are they down with Dad, or they've gone playing in the river? I think they're playing in the river. Okay, well, we're going to sit here. We can't really get down to that part of the river. And while we do that, Jamie is back with the Queen.
Back with the Queen once again and watching one of the gorgeous cubs attempt to open the carcass that she has left for them. So she's killed another adult impala, another adult ram impala. She's incredible. I mean, that is an antelope that is basically her size. And at the moment, this little cub is attempting to work out how this all works. What now? How are you going to get this open? And this is the one thing that female leopards do leave their cubs to figure out on their own. How to get a carcass open, which is not as easy as you might think. The skin of the animal is very, very thick, and it requires a practiced technique. And whilst their hunting instincts are innate, practicing on an impala like this, there we go, there's the suffocation hold that we've seen the lions demonstrate before. Shame, poor impala. Not much dignity in death, but definitely being used as a cub training device. I believe that you saw something similar with Brent not too long ago with Xongile. And here we go again, attempting to find her way in. Interesting already how female leopards often show a little bit more in the way of independence. You can see now she's tucking in. Whoop, climbing on top of that impala. Yes, there we go. That's the end you should be going for. Not always that easy when you're not so big, huh? Oh, pulling it to get in. Just by the way, when she does get in, this might not be a sighting for sensitive viewers. For those of you who perhaps are a little squeamish, perhaps this is your first time on a live safari, it could get quite gross quite quickly. It's all nature, it's all the reality of nature, and this little one has to learn these skills in order to survive. But for some of you, it might not be what you want to watch. I'm just warning you in advance. Oh, shame. Well, she's gone for one of the most vulnerable parts of the body, and that she'll definitely be able to break the skin of. It is really, really important that she does practice the skill. It's not that easy. And you can see it's a challenge for her. But she'll learn as she gets older, and she'll learn which technique works best. And she's discovering which parts of the animal are the softest, so that she can actually tuck in. And she goes ripping away at the abdominal cavity. In the meantime, her brother is off exhausted to the side, flopped in a pile of spots, and little white belly showing still. He's still actually, he doesn't look that round anymore. It's amazing how fast these animals' digestive system really works. And then, of course, the queen responsible for all of this is lying off to the side, recovering after what was probably quite a difficult hunt. Well done, girl. 2 adult male impala in less than 3 days. That's not bad for any leopard, let alone a female with 2 growing cubs. Are you going to go and help your sister? Or not really? Going to let her do all the hard work and then scoff all the food? Possibly. And Taikoni, absolutely. How amazing have our sunset drives been recently? We've been unbelievably fortunate. We've been so fortunate that at times it's been difficult to choose what to do and where to go. From Karula and her cubs being on Djuma, the lions always on Djuma, the Anderson male, the Tsalala prides, that baby elephant that is still mind-boggling, still not entirely or fully functioning at the moment. We've been truly very, very lucky. And some of that has to do with the drought, at least in terms of predators, and the fact that we're seeing them all. October is one of the best times to be in the bush to see sights like this. One of the top time to see the big cats. But it hasn't just been that, has it? There's been something truly special about the bush at the moment. It's just been providing endless amounts of endless amounts of entertainment. Our Susie, you wanted to know, can this little leopard break the skin? She can. She can. But it's hard. It's really hard work for her. The task that her mother has left her with is a difficult one. Mom hasn't even bothered eating any of it. She's left this whole process for little Xongile. And look at this. as she tumbles off the back of the impala. She's learning so much in these moments, learning which joints to go for, where the joints of an impala actually sit, because of course knowing where the joints are in a prey animal can be essential, especially when trying to go for something large. She's learning the soft parts, the armpits, learning the shape of an impala face for the time that perhaps she doesn't get her neck hold right and she's got to hold it by the nose. No, distraction. Fly. Elbow. Noise. Fly. Oh, they are gorgeous. I think it's dead, Xongile. I think you killed it. Well done. Such a happy little leopard. Oh, and distraction. She's actually quite hyped up. She's almost overexcited. And that instinct really, truly kicking in. And now she's exhausted herself. Mark, absolutely. His Royal Highness, Prince Hosana, is waiting for his sister to do all of the kitchen work and the hard work before he tucks into his meal. Somehow I have... She's having fun, you know. She really, truly is. Somehow I have a feeling that if we come back tomorrow and Karula's managed to hoist this kill, the first animal we're going to see feeding on it will be Hosana. Look at her. You can see how hyped up and on edge she is. Okay, we're going to go sit down now. Oh, you've given up so easily. Oh, look at that face. The innocence in those eyes. Now, we spoke about this fact before. Oh. Wow, what a pounce. See, she's practicing. It's not just about opening this carcass either. It's about practicing different things, different approaches, pounces, leaps and jumps. Just a reminder for our newer viewers, we spoke about this earlier, and with spotlighting ethics. Unfortunately, because this kill is on the ground, because she's got 2 cubs with her, we won't be spotlighting the scene, so we're going to spend as long as the light will permit us with them, and then we're going to have to start leaving. We've got a few more moments, though, to spend with her. I mean, look at that. Grappling with the task that her mother has left her with. Yes, much easier to chew a tree for a bit, isn't it? Full roll. We've been thoroughly spoiled this afternoon, I have to say. I'm sorry, she's just so thoroughly entertaining. Kevin, you wanted to know if some animals do kill and then eat quickly, or if some of them leave it. Wild dog and cheetah and lion often tuck in almost straight away. Gianna is having a great chuckle at the back there. She is so thoroughly engaging. Leopards, well, actually, all of the big cats, if their chase has been particularly difficult, to the point that they're actually overheating, you'll often see them take a break before they start tucking into the food that they've caught. They're just too exhausted to eat, or to even think about eating. So you'll see it with all of them. That leg's pesky, isn't it, little one? You'll see it with leopards, lions, and cheetah. They might stop and take a break to cool down. Wild dogs wolf their food down to the point that they often leave scraps behind, which we saw in spectacular style the day that Karula went and gathered the leftovers from the wild dog kill and added it to her kill in the tree, safely ensconced as she watched the wild dogs race across beneath her. Now that was a truly amazing time. And then, of course, what happened with Karula and the daycare is another good example. She killed the daycare, she put it in her tree, and she stumbled across an adult impala that she then managed to catch and kill. And being an opportunist that she is, she's not going to leave food to go to waste. Ate the impala first because she couldn't hoist it into the tree. Although I suspect this is heavy. This is a very heavy kill. We've got to really hope that Karula actually at some point relatively soon gets up and feeds off as much as possible. She's still letting Xongile practice for now, but if she manages to hoist that kill into the tree, I will be unbelievably impressed. She's done it before, but this is a big ram. It's a massive ram. Going to be seriously hard work. She almost needs to feed off it now so that she can get it up into the tree. But that being said, I'm not entirely sure how much space Karula has right now. She is so full-bellied when we last saw her that this entire feat is truly impressive. Let's enjoy what little we can see of the cub playing on the carcass. It's very shaky, I'm afraid. So let's take one last look, and then we're probably going to have to leave. It just is so incredibly dark. Tucking in. I'll try and make the absolute most of it. That's your tail, dear. No, that's still your tail. Whee! Oh, now there's a stick on you. And see, she's very hyped up in terms of that hunting instinct. Like a cat playing with a ball of wool. Except much more serious. Because, of course, her survival depends on these skills that she's practicing right now. She's so tiny that when she sits on the impala, her legs don't even touch the ground. You've got to pick an approach, my girl. Those of you with cats will have seen this behavior before. When they have their sort of silly 5 or 10 minutes when they jump on top of something, whether it is a feather or a toy or whatever it is that you're playing with them, and you see them go into that, it's almost like their pupils dilate and they can't focus and they're scattered all over the place. It's exactly what we're looking at with Xongile. But it's very, very serious for her because, of course, her future depends upon it. It's too dark, I'm afraid. I think it's time for us to go. I have to get out of here without switching on my lights while we navigate our way out so that we don't risk compromising Karula's position. So I think let's go now while I can still see a little bit. What an incredible afternoon it's been. Bye-bye, you three. Well done, Karula. See you tomorrow morning. I wonder if those Ellies have gone and we can sneak past here. Hopefully, that will work for us. I had to go all the way around to get past another herd of elephants. Lots and lots of them about at the moment. Leaving Karula and Obamba open lock. Thank you, everybody. I don't actually know who found it. I know that Ephraim went out of his way to make sure that I heard about it, though. Which is very kind of him. Another thing, the reason why we can't stay, of course, is that on Jigger we haven't got the infrared set up. It's a massive male kudu here. Again, it's quite dark. He's standing staring at us next to the dead tree, looking off into the distance. Obviously I can't spotlight him. They're not going to see it. Okay. He's beautiful. But at time, very dark, yeah. And we will be working on getting Jigga set up with the infrared. But for now, we can just enjoy those moments. That was incredible. Watching her play like that, and Mom's so close. The termite mound that she went to fetch them at, or from, is just off to my right. And we were so close. It's over here. This is R. Ha! I hope you all saw that, because it was magic, and I will not be repeating it. And there we go. That was where the cubs were, off to our right. A large termite mound. Now, Brittany, welcome to the Sunset Safari. You want to know what are termite mounds exactly. So a termitaria is the home of a termite colony, most of which is below the surface of the soil. So you kind of, with the termite mounds, you're kind of seeing the surface, the tip of an iceberg, essentially. Most of what happens is a series of tunnels and chambers underneath the surface of the soil that's home to the different termites. They'll all be the same species, but of course termites divide in terms of their different roles. You've got your queen, and you've got your workers, and you've got your soldiers, and there's more complex detail, but that you get the basic idea. So that is all happening below the surface of the soil. A termite mound is soil that's been brought up, or mud basically, soil and mud, that's been brought up from deep beneath the surface of the soil and then packed together with a combination of termite saliva. And once it dries, it forms a very, very solid top. And the reason that they do that is they create within that a series of vents, because of course lots of activity underground is bound to produce heat. There's a lot of rotting plant material giving off warmth. There's fungus in certain cases, and particularly for the fungus harvesting, farming bacteria. No, those are all not words. Particularly for the termite species that farm fungus to help them break down plant material, they need to maintain a constant temperature for that fungus. So that termite mound that we see is a series of vents and sort of like a chimney almost, or a skylight, that allows for airflow that they can easily open up or block off depending upon whether it's too hot or too cold. Which is why in winter you can actually go and feel the heat coming out of the tunnels or the openings of active termite mounds. And interestingly enough, Jean-Andre was just talking about this, about the fact that this morning on his walk with Steph, the termite mounds were, a lot of the stale air from underground was coming up to the surface, and they could smell it. They could smell the air coming through. So that is what a termite mound is. And some of them get absolutely massive. Termite mounds, generations and generations of termites have worked for decades to produce some of the termite mounds that we see. The ones in Cheetah Plains are particularly spectacular. They're positively, mountainous comes to mind, but that's maybe a slight exaggeration. Let's just say they're very, very big. Some of them are about, I would say, close to 2 stories high. So I hope that explains a little better, Brittany, what a termite mound is. I'm just going to switch off my side lights for a moment and just dim my brights. Since there's a whole group of impala here, possibly even having recently lost one member of their bachelor herd, and definitely likely to be nervous because they would have heard the alarm calls from earlier when Karula caught that male impala. So I don't want to add to their state of agitation. Poor things. Gosh, Ellies are very noisy tonight. I'm slightly glad we took this route towards home. I know that it is getting dark. Let's go across and find out what Brent's plans are.
So we left the lions. It was getting dark. The cubs had gone right down into the river system. We couldn't see them. The ladies were lounging. So we decided to see what we could find for the last little bit of drive. Maybe we'll get lucky with a bush baby, a chameleon. No one's found that first chameleon of the season yet. I think we might need a little bit more rain before they pop out. But it seems like the cat streak is really continuing. What's it now? A month and 4 days. Every drive there's been a big cat. Absolutely incredible. And I'm excited about some of the birds that are arriving. Thick-billed cuckoo. Definitely have to find that. It sounds like quite a few of you have seen a thick-billed cuckoo on camera before. And Brian and I can't ever remember showing one on camera. Can you, Brian?
Nope, I can't.
Nope. So it must have been with either Scott or James or Mark. Actually, speaking of birds, it'd be quite nice to have a little owl before the end of drive. The X55 would like to know, have we seen many snakes or lizards during the safaris? We see them from time to time. It is quite difficult. They hear the vehicles coming and they skedaddle. But we have seen quite a few black mambas. I remember quite a long time ago we actually had an African rock python on bushwalk with Steph. Oh, that was a very long time ago. That was last year in March, I think, or May. But we've seen black mamba, we've seen puff adder, we've seen Schlieblin's blind burrowing snake. We've seen triagamas occasionally, Turner's thick-toed gecko occasionally. But generally the reptiles are quite hard to find. Actually, we see more snakes and lizards in camp than anywhere else. Where Jamie and I live at, the Inga's house on the other side of quarantine, I think we've had over 10 species of snake, and at least 4 species of gecko. We've had black mamba, puff adder, Mozambique splitting cobra, black-headed centipede eater, thread snake, Schlieblin's blind snake, red-lipped herald, variegated bush snake, yellow-bellied sand snake. I know I'm missing. Shield-nosed cobra. Must be 1 or 2 more that I'm forgetting. And we've got the most awesome geckos that live there. Massive Turner's thick-toed geckos. I mean, bigger than my hand. I'll try and get a photo of them. Now, of course, one of my favorite little creatures that we get around our house is an owl. And we have a pair of Scops owls that are quite often in our garden. It's always great to see. It's the smallest owl species that we get out here. Oh, no bush babies so far. But exciting prospects for the morning. Hopefully Karula's kill doesn't get stolen by hyenas. The Nkuhumas, I think, are going to hunt again tonight. So maybe they'll be successful. Maybe they'll be hungry and we get to join them on the hunt on the sunrise safari. So from the Killer Bees, it's been wonderful. Great having Brian back on camera with me. And we will see you bright and early for the sunrise safari. For now, over to Jamie.
I think Jean-Andre was absolutely right when he suggested finishing off with this gorgeous view of the moon. I feel as though such a special sunset drive needs a special send-off. Let's just take in this incredible view for just a few seconds. Isn't that stunning? Look at the craters on the moon. You can see them so incredibly clearly. It never gets old being in the African bush, but I have to say that days like today are rare and truly special. Not that every day isn't truly special, but today was particularly special. That is I think that's the youngest baby elephant I have ever seen. I've seen them a few days old, but a few hours old, with mom's legs still wet, I think is very, very rare treat indeed. I'm so glad that you were all there to share it with me, because I think I'm going to be thinking about that. I'll probably go to bed tonight dreaming of it. A beautiful little perfect creature that's taken 2 months to create. Sorry, not 2 months, 2 years. Oh, now I've got a passenger. That's not a good way to end off the afternoon. And I saw a bush baby at the same time. No, go away, leave me alone. And my bush babies. Oh, there we go. Shall we try it, Chandra? Why not? Why not indeed? Oh, little thing. Little. I think it's a little. Oh, there's one on the left. Hello. Peekaboo. Oh. Okay. Well, it was a nice idea just to try, but I think they have moved into dense vegetation. We had a brief view of one of my favorite tiny primates. And now it's time to head for home and wonder what excitement tomorrow morning's sunrise safari will bring. And it's time for us to do our goodbyes and our thank yous. But first of all, a big thank you to Jandre for his wonderful camera work as always. And thank you for throwing the dung at me, because I think I needed that. Not many girls can say they felt they needed that, but I definitely did, and I appreciate it. And to Kirsty and Jerry in Final Control, as well as to our tech team, to Kirsty and Rebecca in Final Control. Hello Rebecca, welcome back. And most importantly, a big thank you to all of you for joining us across the globe. I hope you had as a wonderful time as I did, and we'll see you on the Sunrise Safari. Bye bye everybody.